Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Angela, and today I'm going to talk about how I passed my Nclex exam at 75 questions. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I only have 8 subscribers. Please join me to grow. Thank you so much. So today I'm going to talk about the resources that I used and the question banks. As an international registered nurse, I was already a registered nurse in my home country. So I will encourage everyone, this Nclex exam is unique and is peculiar. So know what works for you. Know how you read. You must have been writing so many exams. You must have passed a lot of exams. So how did you read for this exam? How did you read for these exams that you've passed? So know how you study. Know how you read and know what works for you. I'm telling you, the Nclex exam is doable. Just know how you study. First of all, I'm the type that I discovered that I was, because of the pressure, I was reading, I was forgetting things. So I had to sit down. How do I study? And this Nclex exam, you have to know everything. You have to know majority, not like everything, but you have to be well saturated with the content. So I started studying my Saunders. So with my Saunders, I think I didn't finish the Saunders, but I got to a point. So when I was reading the Saunders, it gave me the foundation. It gave me foundation. So from the Saunders, I started using some question banks. So when I started using a New World question bank, I discovered that the content I was getting from the New World, it was kind of faster for me. So I started using the New World question bank for content. Yes, I was using it for content. The rationales. Here I usually project New World. Not that I'm doing an advert for them, but those rationales is a very huge content. So I was studying the rationales. I got a note and I was jotting down the rationales. They can ask you one question and explain other disease conditions under the options from the answer questions they have from that U World question bank. So that was what I was doing. I was studying, as I was using the U World question bank, I was using it for content. Then, like I told you, know what works for you. I discovered that for it to stick, I had to read my book over and over again. So I had to study over and over again. So I had a lot of resources. The U-Word guide. If you need it, just comment in my comment section so that I can send it. You have the U-Word guide. It's an explicit. It's very, very explicit. It's still content. They are the rationales from U-World. I read the McCake Blue Book. So I read Saunders. I also use Archer question bank. Yes, I used Archer. I used the U-World for content. I used Archer for critical thinking, and I was also using the Saunders for where I was confused. So these were the resources that I used. So when I discovered that, I had to read it over and over again. So that was what I was doing till I got to during my exam, before like 3 weeks to my exam, I started doing my question bank because I was already getting set for the exam. So I started doing question banks more. Then 2 weeks to my exam, I was doing my question banks. That's the UL and the Archer in the non-tutor mode. So I was generating 75 questions each. I'll generate 75 questions in non-tutor mode. So I will finish the question. When I get to question 40, I will stop, take a break for 1 minute. I'll now come back and continue. So that was what I did daily. Then I was always doing the rationales later along with other study materials. So when I was reading for my Nclex, well, I discovered that my scores were low in my question banks. So I told myself, what is the problem? So I later discovered that I was not saturated enough with my content. So I went back to Saunders and I was still using my UWorld. So I stopped looking at the scores that I was having. So I kept on doing my content. I was ensuring I read it so that I will understand, so that I will give over and over again. I was studying it over and over again so that I will grab the content. Then, when I discovered that I was saturated with the content, I also discovered that I had issues with critical thinking. A question that, a critical thinking question, and is a high level question, that about 45 people got it right. Since I'm already preparing for my exam, I expected to have, to pass the question. Let me say 45% got the question right. So I was expecting to also pass that question since I'm already prepared for the exam, but I was failing the question. So I discovered that I was having issues with critical thinking. So when I finished with my content, I now got the Archer question bank. I started using the Archer question bank to sharpen my critical skills knowledge. So along the line, I also discovered the Nclex Crusader International. There was a video he did on 7 days, passed the Nclex in 7 days. So I think it was the day 1 and day 2 that was really impactful for me. So you can watch that video. It really, really helped me. So it helped me with the critical thinking skills. It helped sharpen my memory on critical thinking since I had the content already. So what I did, I watched his video and I started applying those critical thinking skills that I was taught. So I was saturated with content. I knew that I was deficient in critical thinking. So that was how I now applied the critical thinking skills. Then also another resource I used group discussions. I saw about 3 other persons that was preparing for the Nclex. So we started doing group discussions. We're studying a paper, a book, We're choosing a topic to go and read on. Then we were discussing it 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. That was what we were doing. We were waking ourselves up in the morning to do the group discussions. And it was very helpful. It was very impactful. So this also helped me in my, to be able to remember what I read, what I studied. And just like I said, know what works for you. Know how you study. If you're an audiovisual learner, you should use the group discussions. I also have a WhatsApp page where we do, group discussions. So where we ask ourselves questions. And so these resources, they helped me. So know what works for you. If you are the type that read with books, read books. If you are the type that watches audiovisual, go to YouTube and watch these videos. You can use Simple Nursing. Simple Nursing Simple Nursing will break it down for you, will break down the content for you. So these are some of the resources that I used, and it was very impactful. Then I won't actually forget the place of prayers. I actually prayed. So do what works for you, and with prayers, everything will be perfect. And in my exam day, as I was doing the exam, it was as if I was doing one of those my assessment questions, one of those 75 questions on Archer, because that was how I felt. Although the interface looks like UWorld, but I was just going, I was praying in my heart, and I was writing the exam. I was choosing the one I felt was the best answer. So when I got to 75, the computer shut down. down and ask. So if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment section. Then you can turn on the notification bell so that anytime